There are some stories that do not arrive with a bang. They do not appear in shouting headlines, nor are they accompanied by official announcements or carefully staged photographs. They circulate quietly, almost uncomfortably, through backroom discussions, private conversations, and subtle signals that only the most attentive supporters are able to notice. In recent days, this kind of atmosphere has once again begun to surround St. James' Park, creating a curious sense that something is being prepared away from the spotlight. While the January transfer market enters its most unpredictable and strategic phase, when this kind of mood sets in, it is rarely about a routine move. It usually involves planning, timing, and, above all, direct competition. Clubs watch one another in silence, calculate risks, and wait for the right moment to act. For Newcastle United supporters, who are used to following every detail of the transfer window, the feeling is that an important piece is about to move on the board, something that could affect not only the current squad but also the balance between direct rivals in the Premier League. Those who follow the club closely know that decisions made in the final days of a transfer window can define an entire season. If you enjoy this kind of in-depth content, connecting the dots and explaining what sits behind the headlines, it is worth subscribing to the channel. That support helps our work grow and ensures you do not miss any important updates about the Magpies. Newcastle entered this stage of the season with clear objectives. Eddie Howe's side remained focused on finding consistency and dream of finishing the Premier League among the top four. To achieve that, every detail matters. The current squad has clear strengths, but also a few unanswered questions that become more obvious as the schedule tightens and bench options grow. Increasingly important in big matches and high-pressure moments, according to recent information, Newcastle United are planning a strategic move for a French striker in the final days of the January transfer window. The idea is not simply to add depth to the squad, but also to move ahead of a direct rival who is monitoring the same target, creating a competitive scenario that could significantly alter the plans of more than one English club. Newcastle's internal context helps to explain this approach. At present, Eddie Howe has 3 recognized strikers in the senior squad. Nick Woltemade, Yoane Wissa, and William Osula make up the trio leading the attacking line. In terms of output, Woltemade has been the most productive, registering 9 goals and 4 assists in 31 appearances for the Magpies this season, a return that stands out for its consistency. However, not everything is certain. Yoane Wissa, who could offer additional options to the manager, has struggled with physical problems throughout the campaign. Injuries have limited him to just 2 Premier League starts in the 2025-26 season, a situation that naturally raises concerns at a club that needs depth to compete at a high level over the course of an entire campaign. William Osula, meanwhile, represents a different profile. At just 22 years of age, the Danish forward is still in a development phase and has seen limited minutes so far. He has played only 213 minutes in the Premier League this season, highlighting that, despite his potential, he is not yet viewed as an immediate solution for decisive matches or demanding runs of fixtures. Given this scenario, targeting a new attacking option becomes almost a natural consequence. According to information published by Sportsboom, Newcastle are actively in the market for a striker capable of making an immediate impact. The report suggests that Eddie Howe has already identified a specific target, someone familiar with the Premier League who could adapt quickly to the team's playing style. That name is Jean-Philippe Mateta, the French striker currently at Crystal Palace. At 28, Mateta is enjoying a mature phase of his career and has become one of the Eagles' main attacking references. According to the same source, Newcastle, a club backed by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, are preparing a concrete approach to try to bring him to St. James' Park during this window. The Magpies' interest has not appeared out of thin air. The club believe Mateta could offer different qualities compared to their current options, providing physical presence, strength in the box, and experience in big matches. Newcastle are also among the clubs that have formally expressed interest in the player this month, reinforcing the idea that this goes beyond an initial inquiry. This situation becomes even more significant when considering who else is watching the French striker closely. Newcastle's interest in Mateta represents a direct threat to another English club's chances of completing a deal, and this is where the story becomes even more intriguing for those who closely follow the transfer market. According to Team Talk transfer correspondent Fraser Fletcher, in information published on the 23rd of January, Tottenham Hotspur are also interested in a move for Jean-Philippe Mateta. The London club see the Frenchman as an important piece in addressing attacking issues that have troubled head coach Thomas Frank throughout the season. Tottenham have faced their own challenges in the forward line. Richarlison, one of their key options, has continued to struggle with fitness problems, reducing his availability. As a result, the team are in need of a striker who can share the workload and provide direct support to Dominic Solanke, particularly in matches where cutting edge has been lacking. However, the Spurs' situation is more complex than it appears. Reports indicate that any move for Mateta depends on the early termination of Randal Kolo Muani's loan, with a player currently linked to Juventus. This condition naturally delays Tottenham's decision-making, something Newcastle may look to exploit. With the Magpies moving more aggressively in the race, Tottenham face a delicate choice. Either they accelerate their actions in the market or risk seeing a priority target strengthen a direct competitor. For Newcastle supporters, this kind of development highlights how the club has become a central figure in strategic negotiations, something that would have seemed unthinkable just a few years ago. And if you enjoy following these behind-the-scenes battles, with detailed analysis and proper context, subscribing to the channel really does make a difference. It helps the project grow and guarantees access to content that goes beyond the obvious. Always with full focus on Newcastle United. Despite the concrete interest, a deal for Mateta is not expected to be straightforward. Crystal Palace have no intention of making it easy for one of their key players to leave midway through the season. Sources suggest the Eagles are demanding up to £40 million for the striker, a figure that reflects both his importance to the squad and the realities of the January market. That high valuation has attracted attention from other major clubs. According to consulted sources, Chelsea are also closely monitoring Jean-Philippe Mateta's situation. The reigning UEFA Conference League winners are said to have already contacted the players' representatives, indicating that the situation could turn into a genuine bidding battle. Everton also appeared as another club keeping a close eye on developments. The Toffees view Mateta as a player capable of raising their attacking level, but they face internal constraints. To progress with any deal, the club would first need to offload Beto, creating space in the squad and balancing their finances. On the European stage, Juventus also emerge as an important player in this story. Reports indicate that the Italian club have already made formal approaches to Crystal Palace, including a loan proposal with an option to buy. All such attempts have been rejected by the English side, who remained firm in their financial valuation. Even after those refusals, Juventus continued to monitor Mateta's situation, waiting for any shift that could open the door to renewed talks. This further underlines how the French striker has become one of the most sought-after names of this transfer window, attracting interest from different leagues and sporting projects. For Newcastle, the interest in Mateta goes beyond a simple squad addition. It is a statement of intent. The club are showing they are prepared to compete in the market with established giants, protect their sporting objectives and, if necessary, prevent direct rivals from strengthening at their expense.